Testing 1 2 1 2. Your phone's right there.
My phone's in the car.
Your phone's right there. Evie, 1 2 1 2 3. Are you there? Testing 1 2 3. Evie, are you there? Testing 1 2. Evie? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Welcome one, welcome all to historic Tasker Arena for tonight's volleyball game between the Hobbs Lady Eagles and the Lovington Lady Cats. The Lovington Cats come in with a 1-10 record on this season. They've struggled this year somewhat. They're a very young team, only have 3 seniors and a lot of players that are underclassmen that are playing varsity. They did pick up a win against Eunice, and that was back in September 6th. That was 3-1, but they did also pick up losses against Roswell, Carlsbad, Tatum, Miramura, Alamogordo, Carlsbad again, Clovis, Ruidoso, Roswell again, and then lost to Eunice in the second matchup that they had with them. So they are 1-10 overall coming into this game, and Coach Marissa Ochoa and assistant coach Rachel Faith, working hard to try to get it together for these Lovington Cats. Lady Eagles come in. They are 7-8 on the season, and they've steadily improved after, only winning one of their first 5 games. They've picked up the pace here, and most recently picked up a win against Farmington on the 24th, but they did lose to Goddard on the 27th as well. They're on the season. They've had losses to Monterey and Hanks, both Texas schools. Win was against Chapin out of El Paso. Lost to Jefferson, also out of El Paso, and Horizon out of El Paso. Picked up a win against Mayfield, loss against Cruces, win against Alamogordo, win against Miramura, loss against Artesia and Centennial, for winning against Oregon Mountain, Roswell, and Farmington on a 3-game winning streak, and then losing to Goddard on the 27th. So 2 teams have taken the floor. Hobbs in their home black unis with the white numerals on it, and of course the black unis with the white numerals and the black padding on the knees, as well as black shoes and socks. Lovington wearing their rhodey blues with the white numerals, the black shorts. It looks like Lovington will be serving to start this game off for us. Back to do the duties, Myra Castro. Castro, the 5'2 junior, takes a couple of dribbles and pokes the ball over with the right hand. Handled by Strickland. It's going to be pushed up. Anthony's going to push it over the net. A little hot play at the net. It's going to come up to Gutierrez. Gutierrez sets it up for Anthony. Anthony with the spike dug out. Set by Castro. That's going to be dug out by Strickland. Far side to Souter. Souter pushes it over with the right hand. Bump from Lovington. Sitting up there. It's going to go across to Anthony. Anthony's going to put it right in the middle of the floor in front of a diving number 33, Zabri Rodriguez. And that'll be a point for the Lady Eagles. It's 1-0. Cunningham back to serve for the Lady Eagles, starting us off. Cunningham's right hand is deep and misses, and that evens us up at 1 apiece. Lovington sending in somebody to serve. This is Carly Knapp. She's a sophomore, number 4. And going to the bench, Leah Hernandez. Knapp rolls it up, fires it over. Dug out by Strickland. This one's going away. But nice save there by Zayla Mitchell, and then poked over by Souter. Here's the attack from Lovington. Ran down. Gutierrez sets up Anthony. Anthony hammers it with the right hand. Wisdom Anthony with the power along the baseline. And that makes it 2-1 Hobbs. Back serving, Hannah Souter. Souter rolls up, fires with the right hand over. Dug out by Lovington. Here's a set from Castro. Attack on the far side from Malaya Castro. It was Myra and Malaya. Excuse me. And Malaya is the one that gets the hammer on that one to even it out at 2 apiece. Back to serve, Zabri Rodriguez. She is the libero, standing on the end line. Forces it over with the right hand. Souter digs it out. Gutierrez sets. It goes to Anthony. Anthony hits long. So Lovington up 3-2 here early. A lot of volleyball left. We are in game 1. Rodriguez back to serve again. Pounds it with the right hand. Strickland handles it backwards. They're just going to have to punch it over. Sets it up. Castro's going to set up for her sister, Malaya Castro. And she's going to hit it long, and that'll even us back up at 3 apiece. And on that attack, that Malaya Castro, she's just a freshman. And Myra Castro, the setter, is a junior. Here's Anthony. Anthony with a nice serve there. That's going to be a service winner for Anthony as it falls in front of Rodriguez, who dives forward for it. 4-3 Lady Eagles. Anthony standing on the Hobbs sign on the baseline of the basketball court. Fires it up again. Digs down. Rodriguez has it. Goes to Castro. But Castro looks at it. Her and Knapp both walked up to the ball. And they just kind of looked at each other thinking the other one's going to get it. And nobody did. 5-3 here, your score early. Hobbs now with a two-point lead. Anthony continues to serve. She floats one over. That's a big serve. And Knapp can't dig it out. That's a service winner for Wisdom Anthony. It's 6-3. That one had some heat on it. Anthony again serving on a run here. Anthony's serve goes over the net, goes on the line. They're going to call it in. Say it hit the line. Anthony gets a service winner there, an ace. And it's 7-3. Hobbs quickly in front here. Leading by 4. Anthony steps up again. Fires it over with the right hand. This one's going to be right on the line again. Another ace from Anthony. And it's 8-3. Anthony set to serve. Throws it up, fires it down on the court again, and Lovington just watching that one fall helplessly to the floor as nobody's there to dig it out. It's 9-3. Just like that, Lovington was up 3-2, and Hobbs has rolled off 7 straight here. Anthony again, this one into the net, and that's going to end her run at 7. 9-4 your score, Hobbs over Lovington here in the first. Back to serve for Lovington, Layla Hernandez. Hernandez with the right hand. Anthony digs it out. Here's Gutierrez. Sets up David. Jayla David with the spike. David punches that down, and it's 10-4. Here comes Cunningham as Vanessa Esparza will sit down. Cunningham, the middle blocker, is in. And here's Strickland, the libero. Strickland fires it over with the right hand. Lovington handles. They're going to have to poke it over. Castro does so. Souter to Gutierrez. She's going to just push it down, and there isn't nobody there. It's 11-4. Very quiet gym now as Hobbs has jumped out to the big lead. Here's Strickland, and that one's going to be a service winner as Lovington watches that. Lovington wants to talk this thing over. Timeout on the floor. It's 12-4 Hobbs. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back. Strickland still serving here. Hobbs up 12-4. Strickland with the right hand. This one's going to be wide. Lovington gets the point and an opportunity to serve. Back to do the serving duties for Lovington. Malaya Castro, number 12. Castro back at the lane of the basketball court. Sends one up, and little player miscommunication as Anthony and Strickland kind of get into it with each other there, kind of bump each other. Neither one gets the ball, and Lovington gets a service winner. 12-6 your score. Castro still serving. Castro with the right hand. Strickland digs it out on the run. Castro gets a service winner, and now it's 12-7. like that. Now Lovington's digging themselves out of the hole. Right hands it over. Souter pushes it over. Smacked around at the net. Now it's set up for Cunningham. Cunningham puts it down, and nobody's there. 13-7, your score. Lady Eagles lead, and here's Stadahi Gutierrez to serve. Gutierrez, the right-hander, holds the hand away from her body and pushes it over. Lovington with the dig. Feinted over by Castro. Here's Gutierrez. She's setting up David. David with the hammer and got it down. 14-7 on that kill. Gutierrez back to do the serving duties. Gutierrez with the right hand over. Lovington controls. Castro sets it up on the far side. And that one's going to be hit long as Leah Hernandez tried to force it to the back line, and it kind of sails wide. 15-7 your score. Serve over by Gutierrez. This one goes off of Castro, and it's 16-7. With the 16-7 score, Stadahi Gutierrez pushes it over. Dug out by the libero Rodriguez. Back sets, controlled by Gutierrez. Strickland's going to set David up. David's going to go for the back line, controlled by Zabri Rodriguez. Pushed over by Hernandez. Strickland runs it down. On the run, here's Gutierrez. Gutierrez to David, pushed over. Lovington digs it out. Here's Hernandez again. Strickland's got it. Gutierrez back to Anthony, and Anthony puts one on the line. These big hits, Lovington's just not getting down on the carpet for him. 17-7. Gutierrez back to serve. Right hands it over. Dug out into the rafters. Lovington still has control. Now it's pushed over by Rodriguez. Gutierrez short sets it, and that one's for Cunningham, who can't push it down. $17-8 your score here. Now Lovington to serve. Number 16, Yuri Aragon. Aragon right hands it over. Strickland controls. Here's Gutierrez. Gutierrez sets it up for David. David pounds one down. 18-8 your score. Jayla David with the long serve. Lovington bumps it up into the rafters. Here's Castro. Sets it back up. It's going to be hit long by Hernandez. And that'll be another point for the Lady Eagles. Back to serve is David again. David with the right hand smacks it into the net. And that one is a point for Lovington. 19-9 your score here. Service is over, handled by Mitchell. Pounded down by Cunningham on a set from Souter. Back sets it, Lovington pushes it over. Here's Gutierrez, goes up for Anthony. It's going to be blocked to the net, but into the net. And that'll be a point for the Lady Eagles. Lady Eagles to serve. Here's Cunningham. Cunningham puts that at the bottom of the net. Looks a little frustrated. She goes to the bench there. Strickland returns. 20-10 your score. Lady Eagles lead. Back to serve is Knapp. Goes to Mitchell. And that one's going to fall between a couple of players, Esparza and Gutierrez. And that'll be a point for Lovington. It's 20-11. And that's going to be a long serve, and that'll be an easy point for Hobbs there as the serve falls harmlessly to the ground. Right hand comes up. Dug out by Lovington into the net. Service is going to be wide from Souter, making the score 22-12 here. Service comes over. It's at the net. It's going to fall in front of two Lovington players. Lady Eagles now go up 23-12. David returns as Zayla Mitchell is going to go ahead and take a seat. Anthony go to serves now. 2 points away from taking game one. Fires it up and over. Set by Castro. Hernandez pushed over. Here's Gutierrez to David. David puts it down, and it's 24-12. Anthony on the back line. Chance to end it right here in the first game. Fires it over. Dug out by Lovington. Pushed up. Back set. It's going to be handled by Lady Eagles. Lovington on the run. They have it. Here comes the set from Castro. Pushed over by Malaya Castro. He goes to David. David hammers one at the net. Lovington on the run. Has to push it over. And she gets into the net. And that'll be Hobbs' point. 25-12, your game one score. And we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. You're listening to Lady Eagles Volleyball on YouTube.com. Welcome back. Game 1 in the books. Lady Eagles win 25-12 with Game 2 getting underway. Here's Gutierrez to start. Long ball from Gutierrez is going to be way too long. That one will fall out of bounds, and it's 1-0 Lovington. Here's Myra Castro to serve. She's the setter. She's going to send it over with the right hand, handled by Strickland. Here's Gutierrez. Gutierrez sets it up for Souter, who plays it as a feint into the middle of the defense, and that's a point for the Lady Eagles. David on the back line. She'll be doing the serving duties here. The game tied at 1 here in the second. Jayla David with the right hand over. Lovington ends up going low for it, but they're going to send it wide of the court, and it's 2-1. Here's David again, standing on the L of the Eagles, as she sends it with the right hand into the net. 2-2 your score. Back to serve, Carly Knapp. Knapp on the baseline, waiting for permission, and she gets it. Knapp steps up, fires it with the right hand. Strickland digs. Here's Gutierrez. Gutierrez to Anthony. Woo! Anthony with some smoke. I think she might have put a dent in the floor on that one. 3-2 Hobbs on that super spike. One heck of a kill there. Here's Cunningham. She's going to serve it long. Strickland returns to the floor. It's 3-3. Rodriguez back to serve, the libero. Right hands it over. Strickland digs it out. Here comes Gutierrez. Sets it up for Souter, who pushes it over. Hernandez is there. Hernandez is going to push it over with the right hand after the set. Comes back for Anthony, and Anthony puts another exclamation point on a kill, and it's 4-3. Nice to see her back in a Hobbs uniform. Missed some time due to an undisclosed injury. Here's Souter. Souter with the right hand. It's going to be mishandled, and Souter picks up the service winner. It's 5-3. Souter back on the Hobbs B, second one. She's going to walk it up and fire it over with the right hand. Floater is going to be handled by Lady Wildcats. We're going to send it over. Strickland digs. Goes to Gutierrez, and Gutierrez pokes it up for Esparza. And Esparza is going to punch it down for a kill, and it's 6-3, Lady Eagles. Here's Souter again with the right hand. Lovington handles it off the back line. They're just going to have to push it over defensively. Here's Strickland. Goes to Gutierrez. She sets it up for Anthony. Anthony has one dug out on the run. Strickland ends up making the play. Back to Anthony. She's going to push it over. Goes for the back line, and she's going to miss. 6-4 your score. Hobbs over Lovington. Lovington to serve. Layla Hernandez, she's going to send the serve long, and it's going to be 7-4. Anthony back to serve, and the last time she got the serve, she ended up winning game 1. A couple of good serves. She did have a streak of 7 in the first game as well. Here's her first one. Handled by Lovington. They're going to push it over. And actually on the pushover, they try to attack from the back line. They're going to send it long. It's 8-4. Substitution on the floor. Here comes Mackenzie Porter. She's a sophomore setter. She's going to come in for Souter. Gutierrez remains on the floor, so I'm sure she's being used more as a defensive specialist here. Here's Anthony's serve, dug out by Lovington. They're on the run. They're going to push it up to the back line. Rodriguez pushes it over. Porter digs it up. Strickland's going to set it up. She set it up for David. David off the back line. Lovington deals. Lovington has to push it over. Here comes a set from Porter. It's going to be backwards. Gutierrez ends up having to run down and get it. Goes over to Castro. Castro hits long. 8-4 Lady Eagles. 9-4, check that. We are in game 2 after the Lady Eagles won 25-12 in the first. Anthony floats one over, and my Lord, did she put some heat on that one. Lovington bumps it over, but bumps it over long, and that's a service winner for Anthony. 10-4 your score. Anthony back standing on the beach. She's going to float it and fire. That one's going to hit the net and fall in. Another service winner for Anthony. Anthony's serves are very deceptive. Big hit from Anthony on that one. Dug out by Lovington. Here's Porter. Porter's going to set up David. David hammers it down. Lovington deals. On the run, Castro pushes it over. Esparza to Porter. Porter's going to set up David. David has to back up a little bit and hit it over. Here comes Castro. Castro hits it long. A little frustration there from Malaya Castro. Outside hitter just couldn't quite find the line. Zayla Mitchell returns. Check that. That is not Mitchell. That is Isabella Miller stepping in. Here's Anthony's serve, and it's going to be wide, and that makes it 12-5. Seven-point lead here for the Lady Eagles. Back to serve is Malaya Castro. Castro steps up with the right hand. Anthony on the run gets it. Here's Porter. Sets up David. Lovington's bumping it around. They're trying to get it over. Rodriguez does. Strickland back to Porter. Porter's going to set it up backwards. This time for Gutierrez, who pushes it down. It's at the net. Pushed over by the Lady Eagles. Twice now as Miller's pushing it over. Attacked by Hernandez. Dug out by Anthony. And then Hernandez hits it again. And that'll be a point for Lovington as it falls to the floor off the net. 12-6 your score. And Castro returns to serve again. She walks it up, fires with the right hand. Strickland wisely lets it go. And this is going to sail long. 13-6 your score. Strickland set to serve. Strickland off the back line. Hop steps and fires. Lovington, it deals it. They're going to come up to the net, pushed over by Myra Castro. To Porter. Porter short sets Strickland, pushed over, dug out. Hernandez. Porter on the run. Goes to Strickland, to David. David tries to smack looking for the back line, and she ends up pushing it a little bit too far. 13-6 your score. And Mackenzie Porter doing the setting duties here in game 2. Here's Strickland standing at the G of the Eagles on the baseline. She's going to hop up, send it over. Lovington goes to Castro. They're going to go to Hernandez. She pushes for the back line, and that one's long. 15-6 your score here. Lady Eagles up by 9. Strickland hops up again. Lovington tries to punch it over at the net, and it's met by Kendall Cunningham, who pushes it down. Timeout on the floor. Lovington wants to talk things over. We'll be back in just 1 minute. You're listening to Hobbs Lady Eagles Volleyball on YouTube.com. Welcome back. 16-6 your score. Lady Eagles over the Lovington Wildcats in Game 2. The Eagles took Game 1. Strickland serves over and handled by Lovington. Here's the attack from Hernandez. Porter's going to set it up for Kendall Cunningham. Cunningham has it dug out at the net. Here's Hernandez again. And that one's going to be blocked by David. Back to Cunningham. Cunningham hits one. Lovington on the run. They're going to have to push it over and they go into the net. 17-6, Strickland back on the line. Strickland dances up, fires with the right hand, hits the net and falls. Service winner for Strickland. 18-6 your score. Substitution on the floor, and I've got a player who's not on the roster coming in. She's one of the JV players that's been brought up for this game. Do not have a name for her, and I apologize for that. Here's Strickland, and she's going to miss wide. 18-7 your score. Tell you this, 15's popular. She got quite an ovation from the crowd as they brought her in. Coach Williams not afraid to play deep in games like this. Lovington serves it over, handled Lady Eagles. Here's Porter set. They push it up, and that's going to be out of bounds. That'll be a point for Lovington. Yuri Aragon, she's the one serving for Lovington here. Aragon steps up with the right hand. Handled on the back line by Mackenzie Clay, and then Strickland unable to push it over. 18-9. Aragon back on the line for a third serve. Right hands it, handled by Clay. Here's Porter. Sets it up, and Porter gets under the net. That'll be a point for Lovington. So Aragon gets a fourth opportunity here, and she's cut the lead 18-10. Right hands it over. Handled by Clay. Here's Porter. Porter again gets under the net. We got a nice spike from David, but it won't count because Porter stepping under the net as she's setting it up there. $18-11 your score. The right hand sets it up, back line, pushed over by the Lady Eagles, and that'll be a point for the Lady Eagles. 19-11 your score. Subs coming in. Gutierrez will come in to do the serving duties. Back to the back line goes Gutierrez. She holds the hand away from her body, throws it up and fires it over. Castro, handled by Cunningham. Gutierrez sets it up. Souter's going to just push it over. 20-11 your score. That's kind of what you're trying to do in this game. You're trying to put it where they ain't. And they ain't going to get the one that they just put over. Gutierrez up 20-11 here. Back sets it. Dug out by Gutierrez. Here's Strickland. Goes to Cunningham. She pushes over. Lovington deals. Hernandez digs it out. Attack comes from Carly Grebon, but she can't get it over, and that's 21-11 Lady Eagles. Here's the service from Gutierrez. Bumped up, pushed over. Castro goes to Strickland. Strickland to Gutierrez. Here's David. David pushes it down, dug out by Lovington. Back line, here's Hernandez. Hernandez hits it on the back line. That's going to be a point for Lovington. She finds that back line this time. Here's the right hand. And it's going to be a service winner as Hobbs can't quite deal with it, get it up in the air. 21-13 your score. Lovington serves it over. Here's Castro's offering. Strickland's going to bump it right into play, and they can't come up with anything on that one. It's 21-14. Here's a service from Castro. Clay ends up bumping it up. Gutierrez on the run. It goes over to Cunningham. She pushes it over. On the attack, into the net it goes as Lila Hernandez trying to spike it down. Can't quite get it over the net. Onto the floor comes Anthony and Zayla Mitchell, who's going to serve it here. 22-14 your score. Lady Eagles up here in game 2. Here's Mitchell. Rodriguez deals. Lovington's going to have to bump it over. Mitchell comes down with it. Set from Gutierrez. Back to Anthony. Anthony goes for the back line, and she misses just a little long. 22-15 your score. And Knapp back to do the serving duties for the Lady Cats. Steps up. Knapp fires it over with the right hand. Strickland digs it out. Sets it up, and Anthony trying to put an exclamation point on that one and puts it right into the hands of the Lovington defenders. 22-16 there as Knapp gets to serve once again. Knapp with the right hand pushes it over, dug out by Strickland. Here's Gutierrez. Gutierrez goes to Anthony. Anthony pounds one. Strickland has to run it down. Gutierrez back sets for Cunningham. Cunningham pounds it. And Lovington can't handle that one. It's 23-16. Onto the floor comes Brianna Dunlap, and she replaces Cunningham. Also going onto the floor, number 3, Isabella Miller. Here's Dunlap. Pushes it over with the right hand. Actually, it's into the net. 23-17 your score here. Lady Eagles with the lead. Rodriguez back to serve. Right hands it over. Dug out by Strickland. Gutierrez. Long set for Wisdom Anthony. She floats up there like she's going to put the exclamation point on it. Lovington goes to their heels, and then she just feints it in the middle of the defense. That was a pretty ritzy play. 24-17. Here's the service from Souter. Into the net it goes, and not handled by Lovington. And Hobbs wins the second one, 25-17. We'll be back in 3 minutes. You're listening to Hobbs Lady Eagles Volleyball on YouTube.com. Welcome back to Tasker Arena. We are in Game 3 now. Hobbs wins the first two, 25-12 and 25-17. Myra Castro to serve here for Lovington, getting us underway. Dug out by Strickland. Here's a nice set from Porter and hammered down. Returned by Lovington. She's going to airmail it up for Wisdom Anthony. And dug out on the floor as Castro goes down for it and sends it right over the heads of the Hobbs defenders. And Lovington will get the point to start us off. And now Castro gets the duty of serving. Sends it over with the right hand. Mitchell's there. Here's Porter. Porter sets it up for Anthony. Blocked at the net. Anthony's going to let it go out of bounds. And Lady Eagles get the point. Mackenzie Porter doing the setting duties here for the Lady Eagles. Substitution on the floor. Brasilia Segovia comes in for Zayla Mitchell. Here's David standing on the inline. She's going to dance it up and fire it over. Lovington handles. Castro backsets Hernandez, controlled by David. Porter goes for Wisdom Anthony, and Anthony put another exclamation point on that one too. 2-1 Hobbs here in the third. Jayla David back to serve. Timeout on the floor. They want to talk things over. Back in 1 minute. You're listening to Hobbs Lady Eagles Volleyball on YouTube.com. Welcome back. 2-1 your score here. Lady Eagles serving, and Jayla David back to continue her duty. David with the right hand, and Lovington's handled. Here's Castro setting it up in the middle, and that is set up for Grebon, who puts it over. And Anthony's going to attack on the near side into the net, and the score is 2-2. Lovington to serve. Back at the back line is number 12, Malaya Castro, the outside hitter. Castro with the right hand. Mitchell handles. And Wisdom Anthony just comes straight up to the net and hammers it. And they're going to say Anthony got into the net. That'll be a point for Lovington. Here's Castro's second offering. This one's going to float long. Lady Eagles get the point. On the back line, stands Sarahi Gutierrez. Holds the right hand away from her body. Fires it over. Lovington handles. Set up. Here's Hernandez. Gutierrez digs it out. Strickland sets it for Anthony, and Anthony pushes it over. Lovington's going to attack, and it's going to be dug out by Strickland, set up for Souter. Souter's going to get the strike on the floor. Nice kill for Souter. It's 4-3. Gutierrez again with the right hand. Steps up and pushes it over. Lovington on the run. Pushes it on the attack. Mitchell ends up having to dig it on the fly. Can't find a target on the pass, so it's 4-4 now. All tied up here in the third. Lady Eagles won the first and won the second as well. Right-handed over by Rodriguez. dealt with by Mitchell and pushed over by Strickland. Castro to Castro, and it's going to come over to Hernandez. Play at the net. It's loose, and that'll end up being a point for Lovington as it falls to the floor. Mitchell got on her horse, tried to get there, but didn't quite have enough speed that time. 5-4 Lovington as the serve goes long from Rodriguez. Tied back up at 5. And here comes Wisdom Anthony to serve. Onto the floor comes Presidia Segovia as Mitchell sits. Here's Anthony. Lovington digs it out. They're just going to try to push it over, and they can't quite get it there. A communication problem on the floor. And it's 6-5 Hobbs. Wisdom Anthony back to serve again, standing on the B. She pops it up, fires it over with the right hand, and that's going to be an ace. Lovington couldn't get there on that one. It's 7-5. What an athlete Anthony is. Steps up, fires it over with the right hand. Lovington digs it out. They try to push it over as a diving Layla Hernandez tries to get it off the floor and get it over, and she can't quite do it. 8-5. Anthony back on the B again. Floats it over, and this one's going to go long. 8-6 your score. Lady Eagles up by 2. Here's a service from Knapp, trailing by 2, dug out by Strickland. Gutierrez on the run, back to Segovia. On the attack, here comes Lovington. Sent over by Hernandez, and it's going to be long. That's 9-6 now. 9-6 your score. Here's Strickland. Strickland with the right hand. On the run, Lovington's going to have to just push it over. Strickland goes to Segovia. Hammered down by Jayla David. Checking that one Segovia. That was Gutierrez who set up David. David finishes it strongly. It's 10-6. Strickland back on the back line. Floats up with the right hand. Lovington in response to the net. And that's going to be pushed over, but they're going to say they got into the net. That's the Lady Eagles point. 10-7 your score. Actually, they're going to say Lady Eagles got into the net. Lovington's going to be serving. Here's Layla Hernandez, and it's going to be dug out by Strickland. On the run is Souter. Souter to the top line, pushed over by David. Blocked. Strickland gets Gutierrez back over to Segovia with a big hit. And they dug out. Castro tried to get around number 15 for Lovington, who's not on the roster. Castro couldn't get there. She tripped and hit the floor, and she's injured. 15 to go to the bench, and here comes Yuri Aragon. Castro not feeling good at all. Here's Souter on the back line, 11-7 your score. Souter with the right hand. Lovington dealing. Back sets it. Pushed over by Hernandez and attempted dig out by Souter, but she couldn't get it up in the air. 11-8 your score. Substitution as Porter comes on the floor. And Souter will sit. Aragon to serve. Right hands it into the net, and that's a Lady Eagles point. 12-8. On the back line, here comes Segovia. Segovia, one step, fires it with the right hand. Lovington pushing it up. They're just going to have to bump it over. Strickland on the run. Here comes Porter. Short sets it for David. David hammers down. Lovington digs back to Castro. Castro finds the line on that one. Deep hit from Castro on the far side. And Malaya Castro gets the kill. Here's Myra Castro to serve. 12-9 your score. Castro's serve is into the hands of Strickland. Here's Porter. Short sets it for Jayla David, but it's a little bit too high. David can't handle. And that is a point for Lovington. 12-10 your score. Lady Eagles up 2. Right hand's back to Mitchell. Porter sets it up. On the attack, Gutierrez back to the net. Push down, tipped up. Gutierrez saves. David shoves it over. Lovington on the run here. They fire it down the line, and Hernandez ends up getting herself a point. Leah Hernandez found that back line again. 12-11, just like that. Lovington's back in this one. 11 to serve. Here's Myra Castro. Castro dug out by Strickland, set up by Porter. Back sets David on the attack. Comes to the line, is blocked. Pushed over by Gutierrez on the run. This one's going to fall down after being bumped by Lovington, and it's 13-11. Lady Eagles up 2 here, and Jayla David doing the serving duties. David with the right hand, bumps up to the net, tipped over by Lovington. Here's Mitchell. Mitchell to Anthony. Anthony with a big hit. Woo! That ball found the parquet, and I swear it ricocheted 10 feet up in the air. She had so much power on it. It's 14-11. Here's David's serve. Floats it over. Castro trying to set Hernandez. Hernandez attacks. And that one's going to find the line on the back. She just kind of pokes it where we ain't. Mitchell on the run couldn't get there. 14-12 your score. Stepping up, here's Castro's serve. Strickland to Mitchell. Mitchell sets it up for Anthony. Anthony pushes over. Back set and feinted over, but they're going to say she hit it with twice on that one. And that'll be a point for the Lady Eagles. It's 15-12. Here's Gutierrez to serve. Floats the hand away from her body and pushes it over with the right hand off the net. Anthony runs it down. Gutierrez setting it up. Back for Anthony. And when Anthony gets a good set and the timing is down, well, there's not very many people digging that ball out. Somebody needs to fill the hole in the court after that one. Here's Gutierrez again. 16-12. Gutierrez right hands it over. Hernandez on the back attack. Layla Hernandez sends it long. It's 17-12. Gutierrez continuing to serve. Push it over with the right hand. Here comes Lovington. Gutierrez has to dig one out. Push down and ain't nobody there, right into the middle of the heart of the defense. 17-13, Lovington gets the point. Lady Eagles up 4 here. And Rodriguez serving for Lovington. Rodriguez steps up with the right hand. This one's going to be long. It's 18-13. Anthony back to do the serving duties. It's 18-13, 5-point lead for the Lady Eagles and the serve. Big serve from Anthony on the shoelaces on that back line, and couldn't be handled by Myra Castro. Anthony's second offering. Fires it up with the right hand. Dug out of bounds. And it's 20-13. Anthony back to serve again. Lovington wants to sub. And they do so. Knapp goes to the back line. Hernandez sits. And the Lady Eagles will go ahead and bring in Brianna Dunlap for Souter. Anthony back there. She's going to float it up and fire it into the net. 2014, your score. Lady Eagles up 6. Here's Knapp. Knapp with the right hand. Strickland gets it. Back to Gutierrez. Segovia on the attack. Back attack from the Lady Cats. Strickland's up running it down as Gutierrez saves. Attack from Segovia, and that one's going to be a Hobbs point there as they can't get to it. 21-14, Strickland to serve for the Lady Eagles. Strickland with the right hand. Castro sends it to cross the net. Here's the attack from David. Lovington on the fly. Gutierrez there. Back set. Segovia has to push it over, and she goes behind the net. That'll be a point for Lovington. 21-15 your score. Long push from on the attack serve. And Hobbs ends up dealing with it on the run. Strickland pushes it over. To the back line, Strickland. She digs it out. Here's Gutierrez setting up Segovia. Segovia with a powerful hit. Lovington deals. Play. Back to Gutierrez. Near side Dunlap. And Dunlap off the defender. 22-15. Porter back on the floor for the Lady Eagles. She's going to serve here. Just a sophomore. It's early playing time with the varsity. And that one goes into the net. 22-16, your score. Lady Eagles up by 6 here. Lovington to serve. And here's Aragon. Here's David on the attack after Strickland digs out. That one's dug out by Clay. Here's Cunningham. Cunningham with a big hit. It's 23-16. Lady Eagles up 2 games here, so they can finish this one off. They will be the winners. Segovia back to serve. Anthony returns on the front line. Steps up, fires it with the right hand. Segovia sends it over. Dug out by Lovington. Here's Hobbs on the attack. Here's Cunningham into the net. And it's 23-17. On the attack is Castro. Strickland deals. Here comes Porter. Back to Anthony. She feints it over. It's at the net. Knocked down by David. Back up to Strickland. Strickland gets it set up. On the attack is David. Now here comes Lovington. They're going to send to the back line. Hernandez has been finding that back line lately, and she gets another one. 23-18. Lovington's pulled within 5. And here's Castro Myra to serve. Serves over. Mitchell can't get it. The service winner for Castro, and it's 23-19. Lovington now within 4. Castro serving again. Pushed it over. Strickland and Mitchell get into it. They both tangle up. And that ball doesn't come out. Timeout on the floor. It's 23-20. Back in these about 1 minute here on YouTube Network for Lady Eagles Volleyball. Welcome back, 23-20. Hobbs leads here, trying to close this one out. And referee has some sort of discussion going on at the table now. Can't really see down there, find out what's going on. And guessing they're just showing how many timeouts they've used. All right, Mitchell digs out the serve. Here comes Porter, pushes it over, and Wisdom Anthony, who's been hitting him really hard, puts a sophomore on the back line for that point. Now Hobbs serving for the win. 24-20 your score here in the third. And Jayla David on that back line will be the one that gets to attempt to do so. Hobbs faithful getting on their feet, clapping. David's serve is over, dug out by Rodriguez. Here's the attack from Lovington. Mitchell to Porter. Anthony, it's at the net. Still up. Porter's going to have to go over with it. She does. Here's Lovington. Castro ran down by Mitchell. Another attack. Anthony comes over with it. Lovington on the fly. Pushes it over. Mitchell digs. Here's Porter. Porter for Anthony down the line, and that one's going to miss. 24-21, and Lovington to serve. Castro on the back line. Right hands it over. Strickland deals. Here comes Porter. Short set, Mitchell. And they're going to say she cupped it. That's going to be a two-hitter. And it's a point for Lovington. Onto the floor comes Sadahi Gutierrez, and Kendall Cunningham will sit. Lovington now within two. Here's Castro to serve. Sends it long. Strickland pops it up. Here's Gutierrez. Over to Anthony. Off the players at the net. They can't deal with it. It bounces around like a pinball, and that will end it. 25-22 here in the third, and that'll be the game. Your score tonight, 25-12, 25-17, and 25-22. The Lady Eagles have won it. Lovington falls to 1-11 on the season, and Lovington looks like they're going to be heading over to Texaco on the 4th, and they're going to be playing in Texaco against the green and white girls over there. And for the Lady Eagles, after picking up their win, they even up their record on the season to 8-8 overall. And after vanquishing Lovington, they will be going to Portales on the 4th, and they'll be playing against Portales on the road. For Jonathan Allen, my right-hand man here, did your camera work and scoreboard for tonight, and for Evie back at the station, this is the Coach Brian Coltrane. Good night.